In this tutorial, you will learn to add extra detail to your sentences to make them more interesting to read. You'll do this by adding adjectival and adverbial phrases and clauses. Here's a simple sentence. The shark swam. There's not a lot of information here. We could add an adjective to tell us more about the subject of the sentence, the shark. The enormous shark swam. And we don't know anything about how, where, when, or why it swam. Let's add an adverb. The enormous shark swam stealthily. It's better, but it still isn't a particularly interesting sentence to read. Let's try to describe that shark in even more detail. Sleek and powerful, the enormous shark swam stealthily. That sounds better. I've just used an adjectival phrase to help me to describe the shark. Now, let's describe the shark swimming in more detail. Sleek and powerful, the enormous shark swam stealthily through the dark, murky waters of the ocean. This time, I've added what is called an adverbial phrase to tell us more about the verb. It explains where the shark swam. So, we've gone from this, the enormous shark swam stealthily, to this. Sleek and powerful, the enormous shark swam stealthily through the dark, murky waters of the ocean. And we've done it by telling our reader more about the shark with an adjectival phrase, and by telling our reader more about how it swam by adding an adverbial phrase. Brilliant! Let's have another go. This time we'll use clauses. Clauses are longer than phrases, and unlike phrases, they contain a verb. Again, we'll begin with our rather dull sentence. The enormous shark swam stealthily. Let's describe that shark in more detail. Gliding through the water with its powerful tail, the enormous shark swam stealthily. This gets across to the reader the power of the shark. As it describes the subject of our sentence in more detail, this extra information is known as an adjectival clause. Now, to give some more detail about how the shark swam. The adverb stealthily already answers the how it swam question. Let's answer the when question this time. Gliding through the water with its powerful tail, the enormous shark swam stealthily as a school of fish darted away in fear. As this clause is giving more information about the verb, it is known as an adverbial clause. It answers the when question as it explains the shark swam stealthily at the same time that the school of fish darted away. So we've gone from this, the enormous shark swam stealthily, to this. Gliding through the water with its powerful tail, the enormous shark swam stealthily as a school of fish darted away in fear. And we've done it by telling our reader more about that shark with an adjectival clause, and by telling our reader more about when it swam by adding an adverbial clause. Now, when you see that you've written a short sentence, identify the subject, then add an adjectival phrase or clause to tell the reader more about it. With lonely eyes, the lion lumbered across the grassland. Next, identify the verb and add an adverbial phrase or clause to answer the how, where, when, or why question. As we've already explained how and where the lion moved, we'll describe why it was moving. With lonely eyes, the lion lumbered across the grassland, searching for the shade of an acacia tree. That's better. It gives more detail and paints a much more vivid picture. From now on, add more detail to your sentences. Find the subject of your sentence and add an adjectival phrase or clause to give your reader more information about it. And identify your verb and use an adverbial phrase or clause to explain how, when, where or why that action was performed.